All right, welcome everyone. My name is Christina Aman, and it is my pleasure to host this Zoom for you to learn more about our Spring Community Health Reset. And it is really an honor that I'm co-facilitating with other leaders in our community and more leaders who aren't even here now, but will be participating in the support ongoing as we go. But you're going to get to hear some really great stories of transformation and hear why we are all so passionate about this, why we stand behind it, why it really stands apart from anything else out there. So first of all, let me just ask everybody here, are you healthy? Right? Just, are you healthy? You can just say yes or no, but most of us just feel pretty healthy. The general consensus is that most people walk around saying like, I'm healthy, I'm good. And that's how I was too. Um, when I first found this, I thought I'm generally healthy. I don't have much to complain about. I don't have anything acute. So if anybody else feels that way, like, yeah, I'm healthy. Like I don't have anything I need to go to the hospital for, or even the doctor. That's how most of us feel. Now let us ask ourselves another question. And if you're willing to share in the chat, you're awesome. It's a safe place. If you woke up tomorrow in absolutely perfect health, what would be different than it is right now? And when I started to look at that question, that's when I started to notice, okay, there are actually things that aren't optimal. Yeah, I'm healthy, but I have settled for feeling bloated and lethargic and mildly depressed and low energy and having skin rashes and colored teeth from lack of minerals and all of these minor things that, I still thought of myself as a healthy person. Why? Because I was eating organic food and I was growing my own food. So I thought, well, and I was moving my body and sleeping and doing all the things. So of course I'm healthy. And yet there were all these little symptoms that I had just come to think I actually thought I was aging. I thought like, well, I guess this is what happens now that I'm 40, that I just start aging from here and joint pain and all these little minor things. So if we really get honest with ourselves, we can look at, well, what are the things that I would love to shift? And it turned out, once I said yes to Purium, which is what we're going to share today about this transformation and this lifestyle that really helps us make positive choices going forward, not just a diet, not just, a quick cleanse, but like literally shifts the game for us. When I got honest with myself, and started this lifestyle, all these little things started to go away. I was waking up in the morning full of energy and full of joy, and that mild depression was gone, and the achy joints was gone, and the bloating and the gas and the constipation that I had had my whole life was gone, and I was able to clear up skin issues and on and on and on. So getting honest with ourselves and then realizing how much is from the gut and from inflammatory foods, and how Purium has created this simple system to help us shift was revolutionary for me. So as you can see a little bit of my story, and anybody here who has also had a transformation story, please share in the comments because we want to hear all about it. And really this is a story of soil, because I couldn't understand, if I'm already growing my own food and eating organic, how could this be better? And it turns out Purium foods are grown in such regeneratively nutrified, mineral dense soil that it is in what is known now as the 1% on the planet, meaning that 99% of our soils have been depleted from what they once were. And this has been studied and reported, all over. You can look it up. And just to give like a visual of what that looks like, it would actually you would have to eat so much more food grown in most of the 99% soil to get the same amount of nutrients and minerals that you would eating, you know, this like a small amount 100 years ago, or what these numbers are different. And I've seen the same image with carrots and oranges, but it's the same idea. We can't eat the amount of food we need from most of the soils. And that's why I was feeling the way I did and had the inflammation and had the digestive issues and all the things that cleared up once I started the Purium program, even though I was skeptical. And if you're skeptical or you have been skeptical, drop a 6 in the comments, because it's healthy to be skeptical. So um, let's see here. Did I skip anything? Okay, sorry about this. I couldn't figure out how to get these bottom slides gone, so y'all get to get the little teasers ahead. But basically, we're looking at mineral deficiencies in our soil and how that affects our health. And a nation that destroys its soil destroys itself, and we really want to bring solutions to that. So we have the issue of soil depletion, right? Can continually growing food and pulling out the minerals and nutrients without putting it back in. And then we have this issue of toxicity. Glyphosate, which is Roundup, is the poison that has been sprayed so heavily amongst other pesticides and herbicides and chemical fertilizers that have killed off the microbiome of our soil. So all of the mycelial network and the little microorganisms and all these things that actually take all those minerals and nutrients and make it a bioavailable to the plants is is killed off. You know, this is basically like a heavy antibiotic that has just, it's been bombarded. I mean, these are ads of like, I mean, that's an ad. Like, how would anybody want
Hey,
that?
Christina, sorry to interrupt you, but it looks like we're not seeing your slides change
Oh
and share.
no. Thank you for
Yeah.
letting me know that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I know, I've been having technical difficulty. So what slide are you on? The beginning one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you go to presentation mode, Christina?
I have already, and I will see about what I can do to do it again.
I
Um,
think you're painting a great picture, Christina, and you can
Me
pretty much
too.
keep going. If you want to just stop sharing screen, you can probably just use them for your notes and keep on rolling.
Gosh, if I could figure it out, these pictures are really awesome. Thank you for your patience, folks. I don't even, gosh, very strange. What do
Okay,
you see?
now we see the roundup slide.
Oh, super. Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick. So we had this. This is when I was talking about my changes. This is soil. This is the mineral depletion in soil that you can literally look up on the internet. And here is that visual of how much food we would have to eat to really get the idea of the depletion. And then, you know, this is the ideas out there. And then we moved on to glyphosate. So we're in review mode here, students. Um, and and then this is where we're getting into, you know, we've been bombarded. And it's just crazy to me. This is, you know, just some memes that really explain how over toxified and chemicalized our, those aren't words, I know that, but our soils have become. So there's the depletion issue, and then there's the toxicity, and all of it is just like the killing of a microbiome that makes for soil health. And if you don't have soil health, you're not going to have plant health, and if you don't have plant health, you're not going to have human health. And so that is really the issue that we're looking at here. In 1913, corn was 100% farmer owned. 2016, corn is 95% corporately owned, over 90% GMO, and apparently you need to wear a hazmat suit to touch it. And here, this next one is my very favorite glyphosate meme, where the little rodent or whatever it is asking, do you also eat these with that mask on? Whew, it's sinister. However, have no fear, we have solutions. And I'm going to pass it over to my co-hosts, Allison and Jared, who have some also amazing before and after pictures to share their stories. And then I'm going to be continue the slides about why Purium and what we have to offer as a solution to, you know, the kind of issue that I painted with the soil and the world that we live in right now. So over to you two.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Christina. And your story, like when I listened to it, and I just listened again, but like it was so just so, like so many similarities. I was so depleted after after having 2 kids. I didn't even realize I was depleted. I just normalized, like you said, just like always feeling tired, feeling really irritable. I was diagnosed, I had like, so really my whole life, I've kind of been giving different mental health labels, like starting with learning disabilities as a kid, leading into, a lot of anxiety, depression in my 20s. I was medicated. And then, and medication was really a last resort. I thought I had tried everything and I was doing everything right. But then I really wanted to when I got pregnant was when I really wanted to get off my medications. And I did manage to get off my medications through pregnancy, which was great. I felt good in pregnancy. But after my second was born, I had a major relapse in mental health. And I was actually diagnosed with bipolar 2, and like postpartum psychosis. So it was like really serious, and I was put on really serious medications at that time, like right back on all my antidepressants and anti-anxiety sleeping pills. And then on top of it, like a lithium mood stabilizer. And it made me like a vegetable. And it just made me like, I was going through the motions of life, but I wasn't connected. And there was like, I was going through the motions, I was functional, but I just, and looking around me sometimes, like just today at the grocery store, I like relate with so many people walking around, just feeling like people don't feel great. It wasn't like, I would never, if someone asked me how you're doing, I would never be like, great. Like, I would never, like, I was always like getting by. I was always just okay, like good. And, I see people like that, and just normal to just kind of be going through like the motions and stuff. And then I developed eczema, like, so before and after, like throughout my life, little flare-ups here and there. But after pregnancy, I developed some really severe eczema. Jared also, we both developed it, which was weird. And my daughter also. And we also just kind of, I don't know, we were doing all the, seeing different specialists for skincare, but nothing was working. Nothing, definitely, like everything was just very temporary, if that, but really nothing worked. And I thought I was eating so healthy. Like when I met Taz, who she's the one who introduced this gut repair to me. She, we met through because I was already in all these groups of like, I was in the medical medium, like juice fasting, and in like fruitarian groups, and all these like different healing modalities I was experimenting with at that time, because I was starting to, it was actually after my second was born, she had an allergy to dairy, which had me cut out dairy while I was breastfeeding, and had me go, make sure if she wasn't going to eat dairy, I wanted to make sure that, nutrition. So I started to go down the rabbit hole of nutrition. And we went actually plant-based 7 years ago. And so we thought we were like doing the best we could. And I was actually improving a lot of symptoms, like my mental health was getting better. I did feel more in control, but I was still medicated. And I actually was, I managed to get off the lithium pretty fast, but I was still on an SSRI, and I couldn't imagine getting off of my sleeping pill. I really needed that. And then I would wake up every day, of course, groggy, and need caffeine and stimulants all day. And that was just normal, because as a mom, it's like normalized to have a few coffees a day and everything. But otherwise, I thought I was eating really, really healthy. So when Taz shared with this with me, I was like a number 6 there. I was super skeptical, because I didn't ever order anything online. I didn't do powders. And I was doing superfoods. Actually, I didn't make the connection that I was already doing. I was, using like reishi mushrooms and cacao and different dried superfoods. But and I was doing green juice already. So I was already so into juicing. We had a beautiful new juicer and everything. So I was like, why would I need to add these in? But when I got it, Jared was not on board. I was like, I felt an energy off of Taz, who introduced it to me, that I was like, I need to try this. There was something, even though I was skeptical, she shared her story, and I witnessed it, because I saw her transformation. And I just knew there was something about this that was different from anything else. There was an energy calling me to try it. My cells wanted it. And she brought me over some green juice, actually, and my body just like immediately loved it. And so I started doing it. Jared kind of started dabbling in as I was doing it, and seeing results, because I saw results fast. Like things that I started noticing right away were my skin, like even at work, we used to work together at another job, and people were always like, wow, what are you doing to your skin? It's glowing. I don't know if you could see this before picture, but I had rosacea. I had always ruddy skin. I never had, as a teenager, I had terrible acne. So I never knew what, I just didn't even imagine what life would be like with clear skin. And I also developed crazy like white spots all over my body. I don't know if you have, anyway, if you don't have a slide, if you want to see on, like I share about it all the time, it's tinea versicolor. And it would like be basically in like a fungus that would really react, like come out in the sun or heat or humidity. So I was really scared of like the sun, and I would break out into like crazy, sometimes it was itchy, sometimes it was just flaky and raised, and it was just very uncomfortable. And I was very self-conscious always about my skin. And I'd really normalized just having sensitive skin because my mother had sensitive, you know, I was told my whole life, she had very sensitive skin, I have sensitive skin, and that's just, you know, that's how it's gonna be. But basically everything was leading me like mental health and skin health is all, I didn't know it was all gut health until I started to experience all these like oh my God, and this too, and this. So my mental health as well, like right away started to improve. I was actually, my biggest, like a really big milestone for me was falling asleep without taking my sleeping pill. Like I would just forget it and I would fall asleep and I would wake up feeling refreshed, and I would actually like remember my dreams and feel refreshed for the first time in so long. Because sleeping pills never, like if you ever have taken them before, you know, you never really wake, like you never get a deep restful sleep. It's very superficial. And so I would always be groggy. So that was really beautiful to actually, and Taz was so brilliant how she shared it with me, because I was drinking coffee every morning. And if you had told me I couldn't drink coffee anymore, I wouldn't have done it, because I really thought like I need my coffee. But she was really smart how she shared it with me. She said, you know, the coffee can block some of the absorption of your vitamin C and your iron, which I was very low iron. So I was concerned with that. So she said, you know, you want to drink your green juice first and then have your coffee. And what was so beautiful with that was that it really empowered me to, I would have my green juice and then I would go, and like an hour later, like she told me, wait an hour so it all absorbs. I would go make my coffee, and I just stopped wanting it. So beautifully, I just released that habit that wasn't serving me. And I started to, you know, I drink now, it's so, oh my God, I'm like, it's so many things, but the benefits Jared noticed, and he had, you know, I watched Jared's transformation before my eyes, which made me really believe that this is not some placebo, because I wanted this, of course, like I wanted it to work. So I was like, maybe this is why it's working. I just wanted it to work, but Jared didn't. And he was kind of coming in like, okay, let's see if what this is going to do for me. And Jared, you want to share your?
Is that okay? Yeah, thanks. I was super skeptical. Yeah, I was like a nocebo effect, right? Because we had already done juicing and, you know, tried dehydrated foods before, and nothing really stuck. I still had the stubborn weight I was trying to lose. Even with exercising and restrictive dieting, nothing was really permanent. So we leaned in. I tried it, and it tastes amazing. Obviously, the Power Shake was the one green drink I've tried that I wanted it more every day. Like I jump out of bed excited to drink it. It's a perfect meal replacement. So that took the biomedics was repairing my inner soil, my inner terrain, which is, you know, a tall order for a lot of people. When they say you have a gut issue, what do? They say eat more organic whole foods, which is what this is, and detoxify glyphosate, which this does, and it's very easy to do. So I did that consistently, and this was like weight loss in about 2 months. So I lost about 25 pounds in 2 months, and my asthma and my allergies were gone. You know, over several months, and it was something, this other benefit that we had no
The
idea.
allergies, we had no idea would be
Related.
related to the gut, and he had asthma since he's born. So it's like, we wouldn't think that.
Yeah, just another victim of normalizing chronic illness. Even though it's not normal, it's just common. And what happens here is because you're able to target the gut really quickly and effectively, you get lasting permanent change. You transform, and now, you know, we've helped thousands of people do it, and it's really fun. Like just taking this picture was fun for us. You know, I was like, we're at a spa, like, can you sneak the same picture we got just 6 months ago? And it was like,
Yeah.
And it's great. Yeah. So
It's really amazing because, you know, most things like you don't see the benefits so fast, so you don't stick with it. But this one, you know, people feel it within a few days, they start to feel benefits. So,
and it's
and
not
he doesn't
necessarily,
snore at night, which is a
yeah.
huge bonus for us. He had such like bad respiratory issues. It was always keeping me awake. And that's just a huge win. And then we were, you know, just, yeah, it's so rewarding to be able to share this with people and see and in front of us how many people can, you know, improve their lives. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, Christina, you're still muted.
Thank you. Okay. Those are amazing stories, and you're in a vault of thousands and thousands of stories like this. And Allison, I just want to ask, are you completely off medications?
I am completely off medications. By the way,
Woo!
we threw out our entire medicine cabinet like 2 years in. I saved all my medications for like quite a while after because they were my crutch. Like I was just in case. I was so scared that, you know, I would have a relapse or something. And after 2 years, we said we're never going back. And you know what? It's been almost 5.5 years now. It's been that we haven't looked back, and we don't even take an Advil. So no pharmaceuticals at all.
I'm saving up.
Hey.
Yeah, no
That is
inhalers, nothing. Yeah.
That is so awesome. And I've heard other stories. So thank you guys both so much for sharing in that kind of detail, because it educates us. All these things that we have gotten used to living with, it turns out is gut related, and it turns out is food related. And the food system today is just crazy what, as I explained earlier. So let's talk about the solution, right? We're in this 1%. We have this incredible soil. 100 years ago, all food was organic. Vegetables came from the earth. Fruit was picked directly from the tree. Like it was the Garden of Eden. We wouldn't have needed packaged superfoods in the way that these are now supporting us so much. It came straight from the earth. But nowadays, as we explained, we have these food deserts. People live in places where their food is coming from a gas station or even a grocery store, where hardly anything inside the whole building is actually food, meaning it doesn't have chemicals, or it doesn't have any nutrients. So that's one of the reasons that Purium is so powerful, is the soil quality. And then the premium, we have, well, I'll talk about that in a little bit, but, and then we have this issue of glyphosate and all of the fillers and chemicals and all the stuff that is out there. It's hard to avoid. You have to live in some like really bougie bubble to like basically just surround yourself with like the best grocery stores and the best restaurants, and most of us don't. Or you're like fully growing all your own food and all farmers markets and all that, and then making all your own feasts and all your own ferments and doing everything from scratch. And that's really hard too. So in today's day and age, you're getting to see from this slide why Purium is so potent. And then there's this interconnectivity of like, when we address our gut health and we deeply nourish and satiate our bodies on a nutrient level, and then flush out the toxins, which is what we do in the ultimate lifestyle transformation, that then it's related, like Allison and Jared were describing, like healthy gut, healthy sleep, healthy mind, healthy mood, natural overflowing energy. And now you get to be a citizen of the world. Now you're contributing to making a better world because you have all of this to give. And I think that that's what we're really here to create, is contributors to a better world. Drop an 8 in the comments if you're with me on that. And if our co-host could help mute, thank you, that would be great. So let's talk about this transformation. And basically, these 5 products that you're seeing here on the screen are what you're going to get in your pack. And these are all the things that helped all of us from the stories that you've been hearing have that transformation. The Power Shake is our daily shake. So all you do is add water, and it's full of grasses and algae and all these greens that are like gently detoxifying, deeply nourishing on a cellular level. and it tastes amazing. And that's what Allison was saying, that when she drank that, her body no longer needed coffee. It was a source of energy. The super aminos are also a source of energy. That's what we're going to have first thing in the morning when we wake up. And before our body has a chance to start to burn muscle as a source of fuel, it's going to burn fat and instead build muscle. Drop a 9 in the comments if you're stoked on that. You're going to have energy from the super aminos, brain food. It's going to help with skin elasticity, so it all kind of comes back into place. So those are 2 products right there. The Biomedic, that one in the middle, that is going to be the one that pulls glyphosate out of the body. So we talked about glyphosate and the horrors of what that has done to our soils, to our guts, to our whole food supply, our water supply, our air supply. Like, it's unavoidable. And that's why our founder and formulator, Dave, who's a visionary, saw the crisis coming with glyphosate poisoning and said, I'm going to create something that can pull it out. The first and only product on the market that actually chelates out the glyphosate, repairs the gut villi, the little hairs who help with the absorption and assimilation of your food, and then repopulates prebiotics and probiotics to help with a healthy gut microbiome. Most people on the Biomedic notice results within the first 2 weeks, and the number one thing that people report back is that bloating has gone down. So drop a 10 if you're here for that. Apothecary, this is the one that gives you a really good night's sleep. It's going to put you into that state of REM sleep, and you're replenishing all your cells and you wake up refreshed. It's a really powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, and it's amazing and tastes delicious. You can drink it like wine at night. And then Super Cleansar is something you're going to do in 2 consecutive but not back-to-back 10-day cycles. So this is your parasite cleanse, basically. During that 10 days, you can, and I advise, to focus on what we call our list of flex foods. So these are going to be more of your hydrating foods, high fiber. You're going to have plenty of shakes and teas and juices and all the things to flush that die off of parasites, candida, fungus, mold, any of those things that don't belong in your gut microbiome, so that we can, and also pounds. People typically carry around pounds of impacted fecal matter that gets broken up and flushed out. So that's awesome, because that's part of that bloat as well. And then 20 days later, you'll do a second round to, kill off any hatchlings or eggs. So this is just a really beautifully formulated program. And science shows you can transform your habits and your life in only 90 days. So we recommend people start with their first 30 days and then continue with a modified version the second and third month. And then from there, you get to decide what your body is asking. But, drop a yes in the comments if you're somebody who from your first 90 days just kept going as far as nutrifying ourselves with these. My story is I'm going on over 7.5 years here, just feeling so deeply nourished and energized and strong and better than ever, and more athletic and happier and nicer and patient and all the things. So like I said, we are in that 1%, and it's a very special program. So this is one of the things. So we talked about the soil, and then the purity standards are really unmatched in the industry. And you can look at all the different ways that this is simply food and herbs. When people say, like Allison and I were both like skeptical about, like, well, we don't really do powders, it's probably got weird stuff in it. A lot of powders do have weird stuff in it, and so you really need to read your labels. But not only are our powders from such potent soil, and they are so pure. So literally, they have an in-house microbiologist that is testing for any kind of contaminants and would discard a batch, whereas most companies will tolerate a certain percentage just to increase profit margin. And then our products are so low temperature dehydrated that it just makes it so powerful. Now let's talk about our commitment. We talk about our food print being very low or to nothing. Our packaging is home compostable. There was actually a test done where the soil quality improved when you put our packaging in your soil. So it's actually building soil when you put it in your home compost or your farm or whatever. And even if you throw it away, you just know it's going to compost at the dump rather than just be more plastic that sits there for 50 million years or whatever the statistics are. So that's amazing. And we're really committed to not only supporting the regenerative farmers who are growing Purium superfoods, but my testimonial is that, you know, I'm here sharing this, building an income stream with Purium, and it has helped finance our regenerative farm so that we could keep the land and pour into it and hire labor and infrastructure and all that. So really amazing cycle there. So here's a couple of testimonials, and then we're going to hear one more. You can kind of read these, some just amazing, you know, people from all ages and all backgrounds and all kinds of shifts. It is such a powerful program in that everybody benefits, no matter where you come from. I had it explained to me, even if you stayed on your McDonald's diet and you just added this in, you would benefit. That's pretty powerful. So without further ado, I want to bring in Michelle to just share your testimonial with us. And yeah, Michelle is just like another amazing leader in our company. And are you?
Yeah, I'm here, Christina. Thank you so much. And hopefully you can all hear me okay. And if I have the ability to share the screen for a moment, I'll share some before and afters. And if not, we can stay right here. That's okay. So I grew up in a Italian family. I am 54 years old right now. That might be hard to believe, but I didn't always look like this. I actually looked like I was 50 or 60 when I was 40. And the reason is because after coming up through a standard American diet, eating McDonald's, I was actually a national athlete. We used to eat McDonald's every day on the way to gymnastics. So it was really unbelievable, actually, the stamina that I had. And once I got older and I moved out to Colorado, I adopted a healthy lifestyle and I started on a health practitioner pathway. And I had a son and I was raising my son and we were really just crushing our lives. And I ended up in a household that was a sick building. And I ended up with mold toxicity. And they spilled asbestos when they went to remediate. So I had a double whammy and I was poisoned at biological warfare levels of basically toxicity. And nothing I had studied, nothing I had done, everything I had overcome in my life, all the inflammation I got rid of in my body, the way I had cleaned up my life, none of it mattered. None of it mattered. Nothing I knew touched this. And I went from the top of my game, single mama, having the best time of my life with my son, active with him, to over 36 chronic and complex diagnoses. My hair was falling out. It stopped growing. I was in palliative care. I had Hashimoto's, Crohn's, fibromyalgia, IBS, IBD, Lyme and all of its co-infections, POTS. I mean, you know, to have one of these things at the age of 40 is, you know, almost common, right? You heard Allison and Jared talk about the normalizing of, you know, we're just getting old, and Christina saying the same thing. I thought I was just getting older and this is what it was like. But to wake up one day with over 36 chronic and complex diagnoses, I knew that this was something far beyond just getting older. And I, you know, did not rest until I really found an answer. And when I went to Western and I went to the top mold and Lyme doctors in the country, and I was put on a lot of heavy binding, indiscriminate binding medications, and it left me further depleted. As a matter of fact, 2 years into my treatment, I weighed only 90 pounds and I had rapid loss of bone density. Like I said, my hair was falling out and I couldn't think of words like 7 or spoon or hold a conversation, let alone talk to you the way I'm talking to you today. I lived in a dark room. I was in an Epsom salt bath 11 hours of the day. I couldn't go out. I couldn't go buy groceries. I couldn't even carry groceries from the car if I went to go get groceries. I couldn't even walk into a store to get Epsom salts, let alone get groceries. They took my driver's license away, and I was really a girl in a bubble and in palliative care. And it really, I just knew that couldn't be my life. This could not be what I was put on this planet for at the age of 45. And that's when I really dug in and started looking around, and both ladies on the call today that introduced me to this, the Fleming sisters, really supported me. Rita was doing eye readings, and she was finding that the iris of my eyes, when the first onset of this versus 2 years in, were actually worse going through treatment. I had more congestion in my body. I had more dis-ease in my body, and I was in fact aging rapidly. And so, I got to the point after a court case where my doctor said, listen, you went from 10% of a woman to maybe 40% of a woman, file for disability and call it a day, and just learn, to navigate your environment. And when I tell you the diligence was exhausting, and to say I was sick was an understatement. And that's when these ladies really came in and said, you need to try this. And skepticism was out. I mean, yes, skepticism. I've tried everything, but to even look at some of the ingredients, I couldn't even eat half the things that were in here. And it was explained to me that your body doesn't see the ingredients. Your body is going to see wind and solar dehydrated organic God's food from, grown in ancient lake beds, and already in a state where your body is going to see K2, D3, deep phytonutrition, and it's going to accept and take this in. And as we're speaking, I'm ingesting it. I'm not, I was going to the hospital no matter what I put into my mouth. So the fact that I could sit and talk and have this conversation for an hour and take one of these and have absolutely no ramifications other than feeling like I was drinking sunshine. Like there was a spark of hope. There was a spark of light for me in this, was really what prompted me to say, okay. And I remember Mary Beth was talking to me, and I said something about the biomedic, and that I really couldn't do probiotics because of the state of my digestive tract. And she was texting with somebody, and she said, it takes a spore to kill a spore. And if you want to rehabilitate your gut, this is what it's going to take. And I asked her who she was texting, and she said the owner. And I just thought, wow, you have access to the owner? And she said, yeah, I've been to his land. I've seen the factory. I've seen how these are made. People are in full PPE. So to me, one of those last slides that Christina showed of the purity and then the integrity and having a biologist on site and third-party testing, this was the only way I was going to get better, because I was not absorbing and assimilating nutrition from my food. I could not get it from just eating clean organic. I needed something deeper, something different, something that was going to sneak in the gut, give me the nutrition I needed, and turn off that fight or flight that I was stuck in, that trauma loop that I was stuck in. And it was such the key. So I went on a little healing journey. I took these superfoods with me. I got my feet in the sand and just in the sunshine. And within 3 months, my life was completely transformed. I came home. People did not recognize who I was. My hair started growing again. I wish I could show you the slides, but I have a slide of just even from 1 year to the next where my eyes are 4 shades lighter and bluer and brighter. You can't tell right now because my hair is up, but my hair is thick and long and curly where it was falling out and dead and frizzy in the past. Obviously, I can speak to you. I know all my words. I have my cognizance. I have my driver's license back. I'm fully in my life. And so the other part of the transformation that happened for me is that I came for health. I came for a health transformation, and boy, did I get right. But what I learned was that there was a community where I am not the exception. I'm not a unicorn. I'm not some weird anomaly. One story after the other in this community is like mine to various degrees and coming in from various places. So I came for the health. I stayed for the community. And what the natural progression for me is that I have built a thriving business as a practitioner. Although you don't need to be a practitioner and you don't need to be as sick as I was to enjoy the progression through a health and wealth transformation with this company. But this is my home. This is my family. And I am so like, I thank God every day that there is still people out there that put the care and time and integrity into delivering foods like this to us. We are underfed, overfed, and undernourished population, and our impairments are inflammatory impairments that run in all 11 systems of the body, and we don't have to fall prey to this is just what happens because we're getting old. I call BS on all of it. And if there's, nothing else you take from me today, from my share, is that you are far more capable of healing your body than anybody has ever taught you to believe. Your body desires to be in homeostasis. It was built to get rid of the toxins and come into homeostasis. You just need to find the right information to give to the cells, and they will do all the work for you. This is what you were meant to do. So don't get old and just fall prey to this common thought. Really dream big on what you want to do. If, like what Christina said at the beginning, if you were given your health back, what would you do with it? I talk to people every day and they say, well, if I could just, play with my son and do the dishes and not feel exhausted at the end of the day. And we sit on the phone and we talk about, let's dream bigger. Like some people, we can't even get out of like, just some relief. I just need some relief. But like, I really challenge you, what would it be like if you were fully resourced and your cells were thriving and you were reversing age? And I bet you can do it. So thank you so much for letting me share, Christina, and Allison and Jared. You're always an inspiration to me. And looking forward to seeing everybody on the call. Join us on this reset. We're going to have so much fun, and I can't wait to share more with you along the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. Don't get old, people. Drop some love in the comments for that. And we are going to wrap it up here, but I do want to share with you, now you get a taste of the community, and these are your support layers. And everyone here is contributing to the ways that we're going to support each other. We're going to lift each other up. We're going to hold each other accountable. We're going to cheer each other on. We're going to hold a safe space to talk about the harder stuff and look at it and be willing to move through it and challenge ourselves and celebrate. Like Michelle said, like, what could you do if you felt better? And I just want to share, I just turned 48, and this year started aerial silks, which is hard. And it's so fun and it's so cool to just be trying new hard things the older we get, instead of thinking like, oh, like my time has passed for that. So it's really like there's two different ways people are living life right now, and like, which one do you want to be on? Okay, so the way that you'll be supported in our transformation is that depending on which community you're coming in with, we have some sub communities within our communities. You might be in a Facebook group with the person that brought you here. And in that Facebook group, you will be getting tips and recipes and personal shares and maybe some classes and different things. And also, we're going to be doing a weekly with all the leaders and all of you, a live Zoom that everybody here can participate in, and then it'll be shared into the various Facebook groups so that you can come, bring your questions, your concerns, your wins, your, whatever. And also bring guests. We're opening it up so that you can bring people who might also want to be experiencing what you're experiencing, or somebody you want to bring along for the ride. And that's where I want to talk very briefly about how there is also an opportunity here. Everyone here you've heard from today is earning by sharing our stories, by sharing because we care, by reaching out to people, listening deeply to where they're at finding out what they might be looking for, and then offering as an invitation to come and learn about what we're doing and see if it's a solution for you. So you can learn more by reaching out to the person who shared this with you about the business opportunity, but I will say our community is amazing, as you're probably seeing, and we do have a really amazing event in July that if that's something that speaks to you, it would be life-changing for you to attend. This is one of our previous retreats. So get back with the person who shared this with you, and they have a 25% discount for you to get started. And I also want to say that if you place your order by the 22nd, that's the day we're going to have our first Zoom, our first welcome Zoom. And it doesn't matter if you don't have your products, you can still be part of that welcoming, opening energy. But if you place your order by the 22nd, you enter a raffle to get $75 rebate off of your purchase. So yes, you will pay the full price, but we will send you a refund if you're the winner. So that's really our way of saying, like, what reason do you have not to get started with us right now? Be part of this community, part of this momentum. Springtime is an optimal time to, clean out all the filters of the body and really get ready for summer. So let's do this together. Only transformed beings transform others. So let's walk through your personal transformation together. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Thank you, everybody, for being on this call. And oh, the slides aren't moving again. Okay, well, I covered it all pretty much. And thank you all for your patience in our technical glitches. That's the way it goes sometimes. The most important stuff got covered. And we look forward to seeing you Monday on our Zoom. We'll send out information about that. And whoever you might want to share this with, get with the person that shared this with you to learn more about how you can get rewarded for that. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. And thanks to all of our speakers.